There's a quiet shift that happens in the evening. The light fades, the pace slows, and suddenly, without warning, the world exhales. What's left is silence, stillness, a sacred window between the demands of the day and the retreat of sleep. And in that window lives a choice. The Stoics believe that how you end the day is just as vital as how you begin it, because while mornings are for direction, evenings are for alignment. In the stillness of night, you have a rare opportunity to return to yourself, not as the world sees you, but as you truly are. So tonight, when the day's weight begins to lift, don't reach for distraction. Don't blur the edges with noise. Instead, begin with presence. Let yourself notice the day that just passed. This isn't about productivity or performance. It's about awareness, about seeing the day with clarity before you let it go. Marcus Aurelius, in his meditations, often wrote to himself at night. He asked, "What did I do today? What did I feel? Where did I stray from reason, and where did I hold to it?" This wasn't self-judgment, it was self-respect, a commitment to integrity, even in retrospect. Try it. Sit quietly, no phone, no stimulation, just you and the memory of your day. Rewind it like a film, noticing without reacting. When did you feel aligned with your values? When did you act out of fear, ego, or impulse? Were there moments of kindness, of presence, of courage? This simple evening ritual of reflection is not weakness, it's strength. Because it takes courage to look within. It takes maturity to examine your life without flinching. And it takes quiet strength to recognize that growth is not loud or sudden. It's slow, evening by evening. You might be surprised by what you remember, a glance you overlooked, a word you regret, a choice that felt small in the moment but heavy now. That's not a failure, it's a gift. Because reflection is how wisdom begins. You cannot change what you do not first see, and once you see it, you can choose again, tomorrow, wiser. So let this be your first evening habit, not for guilt, not for self-punishment, but for reconnection, for alignment, for inner calm. When the day ends, return to yourself with honesty, with compassion, with the quiet courage of a Stoic. At night, we return to ourselves, for only in silence can we hear the truth, unknown. After reflection, there is release, and in the Stoic evening, that release takes form in writing. Journaling is more than recording events. It is self-dialogue, a place where the voice within finally speaks without interruption. The page does not argue, it does not correct, it simply listens. And in that space, clarity often arrives. The Stoics were writers, not to be read, but to remember. Marcus Aurelius never meant for his meditations to become a book. They were his way of anchoring the self, his compass in a world that constantly tried to pull him away from virtue. So take your pen or open a document. Begin anywhere. Write what you saw today. Write what you felt. Let it be messy, honest, incomplete. The goal is not to craft sentences, it's to release what lingers in the mind. Emotions unresolved, thoughts unspoken, questions unanswered. Give them a place to rest. If you don't know what to write, begin with gratitude. List 3 things, not big things, real things. A conversation that warmed you, a task you completed, a moment you laughed. The Stoics knew that appreciation grounds the soul, that contentment grows not from what we gain, but from what we notice. Then move to the deeper waters. Ask, where did I act out of alignment with my values? Where was I reactive rather than intentional? What lesson did the day try to teach me? And most importantly, what will I carry forward and what will I leave behind? This is not a performance. It is not a to-do list. It is a clearing, a ritual of the mind. Some nights your words may flow like a river. Other nights a single sentence might be all you can muster. Both are enough. Both are sacred. Because each word is an act of attention, of turning inward instead of away. Over time, these pages become more than ink. They become a mirror, a map, a testament to your growth, not in grand achievements, but in the quiet commitment to knowing yourself better each night. So write, not for the world, not even for the future. Write for the part of you that is trying to understand, to heal, to align. In the end, your journal becomes what the Stoics valued most, a tool for virtue, for wisdom, for self-respect. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Marcus Aurelius. The mind, left unchecked, drifts. It clings to what was left undone. It replays conversations, regrets, imagined futures. And in the darkness of night, these thoughts often grow louder. This is why intention matters. Unlike goals, which are focused on outcomes and achievements, intentions are about character. They are not what you aim to do. They are who you choose to be. The Stoics made a clear distinction between what we can control and what we cannot. Goals often depend on things beyond us, results, reactions, circumstances, but intentions live fully within our grasp. They are choices of spirit, not circumstance. So before you sleep, ask yourself not what do I need to accomplish tomorrow, but how do I wish to show up? Do you wish to be calm in chaos, patient in delay, courageous in uncertainty? Write it down, a single sentence, a quiet vow. Let it be simple but true. Tomorrow, I will pause before reacting. I will greet frustration with curiosity. I will hold my values, even if no one is watching. These are not tasks to check off. They are reminders, anchors. A soft thread tying you to your deeper self when the day tries to pull you in every direction. The practice of setting intentions at night prepares the soul for what lies ahead. It programs the subconscious not for control, but for character. You go to sleep not with anxiety about outcomes, but with clarity about who you are becoming. And if tomorrow brings storms, you will remember. If tomorrow tests your patience, you will be ready. Because you are not reacting to life blindly. You are walking into it with awareness, with preparation, with quiet strength. Intentions give you shape when the world is shapeless. They protect you from drifting into someone you never meant to be. So make it a habit. Reflect, release, then choose. Choose not what must happen, but who you will be when it does. In this, the Stoics were clear. Virtue is not a theory, it is a decision, made quietly, made daily, made at night before the world stirs again. We must undergo a hard winter training and not rush into things for which we haven't prepared. Epictetus. The world has grown too soft, too padded, too dependent on comfort, masquerading as necessity. But the Stoics warned us, comfort is not the goal, strength is. And strength, they taught, is forged in friction. So each evening, as the body winds down and the comforts of routine begin to lull you, consider this. What small discomfort can you choose, on purpose? This isn't about punishment. It's about preparation, about resilience, about reminding yourself gently that you are more than your cravings, more than your habits, more than the soft voice that says you deserve to relax. Because yes, you do deserve peace. But peace is not the same as indulgence. The Stoic evening honors rest, not escape. Try this. Skip the easy pleasure. Turn off the screen. Take a cold rinse before bed. Sleep without the extra blanket. Fast for a few hours before sleep. These are not heroic acts, but they whisper something important to the soul. I am not ruled by comfort. Seneca once practiced this deliberately, wearing coarse clothes, eating only bread and water, not to suffer, but to rehearse, to remind himself, is this what I feared? The answer was always no. When you choose small discomforts voluntarily, you train the mind for the involuntary ones. You become less shaken by what others dread. You build a quiet confidence, not from what you possess, but from what you can live without. This is the heart of Stoic strength, to walk into the cold and still find warmth inside. To say no when every voice screams yes, to strip away luxury and feel more, not less, alive. Let your evenings contain a moment of this, a practice of fortitude, a soft resistance, not because life demands it today, but because one day it will, and you will be ready. You will not panic when things fall apart. You will not crumble when comfort is gone, because you trained when it was easy so you could stand firm when it's not. And in that moment when others fold, you will breathe deeply and carry on, not because you are hardened, but because you are prepared. Man is not worried by real problems so much as by his imagined anxieties about real problems. Epictetus. Before sleep, the mind often wanders. It loops through concerns. What if, what then, what now? The Stoics knew this tendency well. They understood how easily the present is stolen by phantoms of the future. This is why mindfulness isn't just a modern buzzword, it's an ancient tool. One deeply aligned with Stoic practice. To be present is to reclaim peace. And in the evening, nothing matters more. You don't need a meditation cushion or incense or silence. You need only attention. Gentle, honest, anchored. Begin by sitting still or lying down. Let your breath find its natural rhythm. Don't force it, observe it. The inhale, the exhale, the rise and fall. The air entering cool, leaving warm. This is not escapism, it's return. Return to your body, to the present, to this exact moment where no future exists and the past has no power. Notice what you feel. The texture of the sheets, the sound of the night, the tightness in your jaw, the pace of your heart. Don't name these things as good or bad, just feel them, like waves rising and passing. And when thoughts arrive, as they will, don't chase them. Don't fight them, watch them. Let them float past like clouds across the sky. You are not your thoughts. You are the awareness beneath them. This is the very essence of Stoic practice, distinguishing between what is and what we make of it. If you like, close this moment with a reflection, a short line, a Stoic truth to settle into your subconscious. Something like, I release what I cannot control. I am not my fears. The present is enough. Epictetus taught that most suffering comes not from events, but from our interpretation of them. And nowhere does this show more than in the restless hour before sleep. But you are not powerless. You are not a victim of your thoughts. You are the observer, the stillness, the calm beneath the current. And with practice, night after night, you begin to build an inner fortress, a place untouched by noise, untouched by fear, a space of quiet strength where nothing needs to be solved because everything is already accepted. Let this practice be your shield, your retreat, your peace. Not to escape life, but to re-enter it tomorrow, anchored, awake, stoic. To live a good life, we have the potential for it, if we can learn to be indifferent to what makes no difference. Marcus Aurelius. In a world that screams for your attention, revisiting wisdom is an act of rebellion. Each evening, as distractions claw for your final waking moments, you can choose instead to return to the words that center you, to the truths that last. The Stoics didn't just study philosophy, they lived it, but they also revisited it over and over, because they knew a single reading doesn't transform you. Repetition does, reflection does, living it day by day does. So make it a ritual. Keep a Stoic text by your bedside. It could be the personal reflections of Marcus Aurelius, the letters of Seneca, or the discourses of Epictetus. Let their words greet you, not as lectures, but as reminders. Anchors. You don't need to read chapters, just a paragraph, a line. Sometimes that's enough. Often, it's more than enough. Open at random. Let the message find you. Maybe it speaks of impermanence, or patience, or virtue. Maybe it challenges your pride or softens your judgment. Either way, sit with it. Don't rush past. Let the words settle. Ask, what does this reveal about how I live today? Where does it meet my struggles? How can I carry this truth into tomorrow? Write your thoughts if you wish, or close your eyes and let the meaning rest inside you, like a stone sinking gently into water. These teachings are not for decoration. They are tools for resilience, for clarity, for self-respect. The Stoics were not perfect men. They were disciplined ones. They revisited wisdom not because they forgot it, but because they knew they would forget without it. And you will too. That's not weakness. It's human. That's why we return. So let this be your evening habit. A short passage, read with intention. Not for knowledge, but for grounding. Not to impress, but to transform. Even if it's the same quote for a week. Even if it's the same principle for a month. What matters is not variety. It's depth. It's what you do with the words once they're inside you. You will find, over time, that these lines begin to echo throughout your day. In moments of anger, they soften you. In times of fear, they steady you. In moments of pride, they humble you. And slowly, without forcing it, the philosophy becomes part of your being. Not something you study, but something you are. Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling, Seneca. What if you could love every part of your day, even the parts that hurt? What if, instead of resisting what happened, you embraced it with open arms? The Stoics called this Amor Fati, the love of fate. Not just acceptance, not tolerance, but love. A deep, powerful yes to whatever life brings. This is perhaps the most difficult and most liberating habit to carry into your evening. Because at the end of the day, there will always be something you wish had gone differently. A mistake, a harsh word, a plan that collapsed. And your mind will want to wrestle with it, to fix it, to rewrite it in your head. But you can't. It's already written. The moment is gone. What you can do is transform it. The Stoics teach us that every obstacle is also the path, that nothing happens to you, everything happens for the evolution of your character, even pain, even failure. So tonight, before you sleep, revisit your day through this lens. Not why did this happen, but what is this teaching me? Not I wish this didn't occur, but this is exactly what I needed, even if I don't yet understand why. This is not passive resignation. It is radical strength. Imagine carrying that mindset into sleep. Imagine not tossing and turning with what ifs and regrets, but resting in deep trust. Trust that the universe has placed every stone on your path with purpose, that nothing is wasted, that even tonight's discomfort is part of tomorrow's growth. To practice Amor Fati, speak it softly to yourself. I welcome this moment as it is. Everything that happened today was mine to carry, and I carried it. Even the hard parts are working for my good. It won't always feel true, but say it anyway. Your body hears it, your spirit hears it, and over time, resistance gives way to peace. In the Stoic evening, Amor Fati is the final surrender, not of weakness, but of wisdom, of understanding that you are not in control of the world, but you are always in control of your posture toward it. Let this be your final act before sleep. Gratitude not just for the good, but for all of it, because all of it has shaped you. And tomorrow, when you rise again, you will rise not in bitterness, but in strength. Quiet, unshaken, whole. The best revenge is not to be like your enemy, Marcus Aurelius. There is a moment just before sleep when the world goes quiet. No more emails, no more headlines, no more conversations echoing in your mind, just stillness. And in that stillness, you meet yourself. Everything you did, everything you didn't do, every reaction, every restraint, all of it returns to you, not as judgment, but as presence, a kind of sacred accounting, a final breath before the page turns. The Stoics understood the gravity of this moment. They saw sleep not merely as a break from consciousness, but as a symbolic death, a rehearsal for the final rest, a time to ask, did I live today in accordance with who I want to be? If the answer is yes, let it fill you with quiet pride. If the answer is no, let it teach you, not torture you, because this is where transformation begins, not in grand resolutions, but in nightly realignments. In these last few minutes before surrendering to rest, you decide, will I carry this version of myself into tomorrow, or will I soften, let go, and choose again? Return to the breath. Feel the weight of your body, the slowing rhythm of your chest, the way your mind begins to loosen its grip. Now let it go. Let go of the moment you wish you could change. Let go of the thing you cannot fix tonight. Let go of the voice that says you're not enough. Let go of the mask you wore today. You've done what you could. More importantly, you noticed. You returned to yourself. You honored this day with awareness. That alone is rare. That alone is powerful. Let peace come, not because the world is perfect, but because you've chosen not to fight it. Let rest come not as escape, but as reward. You are not your past. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who watches both with quiet strength and unwavering self-respect. And so, as you lie down, let this be your final act of stoicism, to trust that nothing today was wasted, to believe that you are being shaped, not punished, to rest, not in control, but in alignment. Close your eyes and let the night carry you home.